In China, where the coronavirus first emerged, authorities have begun gradually easing restrictions. Some people are being allowed to leave the city of Wuhan, the first epicenter of the pandemic, as long as they're in possession of a green code on an official smartphone app. Quotas are in place restricting the amount of people who can leave the city, and residents in some neighbourhoods are still only allowed to leave their house for 2 hours a day. In other regions and cities where the outbreak was less severe, the majority of shops, restaurants and workplaces have begun to reopen, although there are fears of a second wave of cases as people return to work. As the first Western democracy to face the coronavirus pandemic, all eyes are on Italy to see how the country forges an exit strategy. Although the lockdown is in place until the 3rd of May, a narrow range of firms are resuming operations. They include bookshops, stationers and shops selling children's clothes. Factories will not reopen despite the fragile Italian economy facing its heaviest recession since the Second World War, although Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte said he would continue to assess the trend of new infections and act accordingly. Italy's northern Liguria region is the latest to announce autonomous steps to restart some activities from forestry to beach club maintenance. Schools and shops are to progressively reopen from May the 11th, with the lockdown lasting 4 weeks longer than originally planned. But France President Emmanuel Macron said restaurants, hotels, cafes and cinemas would have to remain shut longer. International arrivals from non-European countries remain prohibited until further notice. Mr. Macron, whose government has faced criticism over a shortage of face masks and testing kits, said that by May the 11th, France will be able to test anyone presenting COVID-19 symptoms and give non-professional face masks to the public. An exceptional 10-day measure to keep all non-essential workers at home has now lapsed, meaning that building sites, factories and call centres are starting to operate again. An official drive has been launched to distribute face masks at major public transport hubs, but many employers complained that no direct supply lines had been organised for their workers. At the same time, families will continue to face some of the strictest lockdown rules in Europe until April 26th, with not even children allowed to exercise. Spain plans to start mass testing to check for herd immunity from next week. Areas where sufficient herd immunity has been achieved will be able to relax social distancing measures earlier than others. The German region of Saxony is to begin reopening schools after the Easter holidays amid signs of a growing opposition to the country's coronavirus lockdown. The state is the first in Germany to break ranks and announce an easing of measures. The federal government has tried to downplay hopes of restrictions being eased soon, with Chancellor Angela Merkel saying it would be irresponsible to give an end date. However, authorities are examining ways of achieving a lifting of lockdown measures through technology. One such solution could involve the use of an app to monitor who individuals have been in contact with, so as to alert them to the need for testing.